Dear Diary, I knew this would be hard, but I didn't know it'd be this hard. I feel an overwhelming sadness when it comes to talking about cancer. How do you find the words? I'm gonna try. So here are my chemo confessions.
So I had an angry day today, much like yesterday. And for me, my cancer journey isn't so much about how weak I feel, and like what I can do physically. It's really more about the emotional roller coaster that I ride on the daily to deal with stuff, like triggers. Like today I was like really triggered, and it's not like my face doesn't show what's going on. If you can't get it from the voice cracking, you could definitely see it with my eyes and my nose, because I light up like a Christmas tree, even around my mouth. It's like red. Okay, so this was like a really harder trigger because I had an interaction with a person that just brought back all these feelings of not being listened to, not being heard, and I got hung up on. When I tried to communicate, the other person got overwhelmed and they chose to bow out by hanging up, and that was really upsetting to me, because to me it made me feel like they don't really love me or care about how I feel or what I'm trying to say. So it was a very emotionally charged interaction, and it turns out that we were both being triggered by one another, not meaning to. So like, I feel like I like to give people a lot of grace for that kind of situation, because I never know like when it's something I've done that's caused them to feel a certain way, you know. And I don't want to be that bitch that, you know, causes them pain and then they have issues with me and they don't feel like they can deal with it with me. I'd rather them feel like they can talk to me, because I want to be that kind of person. I want to be that person that you feel like she'll listen to you. You know, she might get upset and she might get loud and she might get like reactionary, but she'll also come to her senses and she'll also hear you out and she'll also care about how you feel, because that's the person I want to be. And this person loves me. It's a good person. They've been a dear friend in our lives, and it's just really one of those moments of we just need to learn how to communicate better with each other. You know, and these things are culminating in my life anyway. So, as far as like things that I just noticed my oil change is due today. That's a thing for tomorrow. Anyway, back on topic. I just know that there's a lot of things I'm going through right now, and that emotionally they're weighing on me and they're heavy because I can't fucking do things the way I want to do. And so maybe it's an issue of control for me, because a lot of things are out of control. I feel like it's not so much that I'm having that kind of reaction, and I'll explain why. Because I used to be a very controlling person, because things are so out of whack in my life. So I went through years of counseling to help me really learn to like not be a controlling person. So it's like a literal transformation change in my life to be able to recognize that like this is just me struggling with the fact that I have low energy, and I don't get to be and do the things I want to do in my life right now. I have to accept that there are things that I can't do. I have to wait. And it's heartbreaking for me because I've been waiting a while as it is. And please don't look at me and be like, you're so young, you have so much life left to live and all that. I know that. Why do you think I'm fighting for my life? So I can continue to do these things. My face will tell you that I'm a lot younger than my age. So please don't try to discredit or devalue or take away from how I'm feeling, because this just sucks. And that's what I'm saying, is that this sucks and it hurts because I put a lot of work into getting to the point I wanted to get to in my life, and I'm still not able to be there. So I have pain from that. It's not the end. It's not the end. It'll get much better for me. I know it will. It's just heartbreaking because I spent 12 years to get my bachelor's degree, and I finally got it this past December, and instead of getting to celebrate my graduation with everyone because I wanted to tell the whole world and celebrate, I'm dealing with a fucking recurrence. I'm dealing with cancer again. The bitch that I kicked out the first time, I thought I was done with her. And instead, I'm spending the last couple of months of my final semester of my senior year of broadcast journalism life focused on what next? How do I deal with this? So this is my cancer journey. My cancer journey is more about how I deal with my emotions and how I choose to live, because that's every day the thing that I can deal with. It's every day how I can get through this life and be a better person, because I want to be a better person for me, for the little 8-year-old girl who had the dream of being a National Geographic photojournalist. Because I'm not giving up on her. And I really didn't want to be making videos where I'm crying the whole time. I thought I'd just use snippets of these, but there's so much on my heart that I want to share that I'm just trying to get this all out so that I feel better and I can drive, because I obviously am not in a very good emotional state to be driving at the moment. I have a Werther's Original in my mouth, that's why. If you hear that noise or see that, that's what that is. So, I think I've come to expect that for cancer, and people who like to be known as cancer patients, who know who the hell does, because that doesn't seem like a great thing to want to be known as. It's more of a title or a label that's put on you because of a condition in your life. I never wanted to be treated like a cancer patient. I never called myself that because I didn't want to accept that as my identity. I didn't want that to be how people thought of me. And people will change their opinion and their thoughts based on their perception of, or how they perceive cancer in other people's lives. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but in my experience, it's not been a pleasant thing. And for most people, it's not a pleasant thing as far as it goes to the people I've talked to, because there's this thing that happens where people are like, well, you're going through this, so you can't do this. Like, you can't work, or there's whatever limitations they want to put on you. And they don't mean to, honestly, probably. They may not even realize that they're doing it, but it happens because it's like the conversation changes. It's like the expectation changes. And I wouldn't tell people that I worked with the first time I had cancer that I had cancer, because I would not be allowed to do certain things when people found out. So I made it a point to do my job and to do it to the best of my ability. And when the time came up that I needed to speak up, I would say something. And a lot of times it would turn out to be like I would tell the one person, like the boss, the supervisor, and that would be the only person. And then none of my coworkers would know. And I don't know. You might think I'm wrong. I don't care. It was the decision I made at the time that was best for me. So whatever opinion you want to have about that, it's already been done. So whatever, you know. But I'm saying that, like, it's hard to not feel sad or feel concern for somebody whose health is in that state and condition. So whether or not someone purposely means to treat you differently, it happens. And I understand that. I was in the military. When I started being a student at a community college, and I would tell, like, other people I was around that I was in the military, I got treated like, oh, I was super cool because I'm military. But they didn't know a single damn thing about me. The only thing they knew was that I was in the military. And so I got this treatment of like, oh, well, you must be this, you must be a badass, you must be G.I. Jane or whatever. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a badass, but like, don't go on thinking all these other things because you don't know. Like, I have a very different way of like handling it. Like I said before, like, my cancer journey is a very emotional experience. My military experience was a very emotional experience. I learned through these emotional, life-changing lessons that were presented to me through the challenges and tasks that were ahead of me. That's how I'm wired. That's what's happening now. So I'm getting all these shit emotions coming up and I'm dealing with them. And it fucking sucks. So I stopped telling people I was in the military because I'm like, I want you to know me as a person. I want you to get to know me. Because I don't want you to think I'm cool based on some thing that you have some idea about. I mean, I want you to think I'm cool because I'm cool. You know? That's where I was. And the same thing with cancer. Like, I don't want you to think that my inability to do something is because I have cancer. It may not be because I have cancer. It may just be because I just suck. It may just be because I need training in it. I don't want it to be like I'm going to limit you based on what I think you should be limited on. So anyway, that was a really lengthy explanation of all that. But if you stuck with me and understood all that, thank you. I feel better now. I'm calmer now. And I thank you for going on this journey with me. And if it was an emotional roller coaster for you, as much as it was for me, oh, God bless you. I hope you like this video, and I'm making more of them. Tell me what you think. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye!